I'm Christine Persichetti. A group of nuns who have been a staple in New York for nearly 200 years will be leaving Bay Ridge. As Brooklyn's Visitation Sisters begin the process of closing their monastery, they're also ending the sponsorship of their school, Visitation Academy. Current News' Jessica Easthope has the story.
Mother Susan Marie Kasperzak has walked these halls for 35 years. The Visitation Monastery in the heart of Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, is her home. But her time as a cloistered nun here will soon be coming to an end.
It is soaked with prayer. You can feel it. That's the sad thing. Jesus has to move, not us. Jesus has to move. To close a monastery is to shred one's soul.
It was announced this week that the monastery, which only houses two sisters, Mother Susan Marie and Sister Mary Cecilia Joe, will be closing. The Brooklyn Visitation Sisters will also be ending their sponsorship of Visitation Academy.
Girls, want to say thank you for
The all-girls elementary school that shares the property has 85 students enrolled.
The school is the one that's really been very affected. The children and parents and faculty. The neighborhood, really, in a way, this Bay Ridge neighborhood.
As Mother Susan Marie watched the numbers of fully formed sisters at her monastery dwindle over the years, she was left with no choice but to follow the Holy See's guidelines and close.
When you reach a certain point, you can no longer have elections. We reached that point, and after a certain point, if you can't revitalize, and our circumstances showed us that we can't. But we're following the Holy See's regulations.
Mother Susan Marie and Sister Mary Cecilia will find new homes at other visitation monasteries in the country. In the meantime, Visitation Academy will finish out the school year. The Diocese of Brooklyn is currently assisting students and parents to transition to new schools come September. In Bay Ridge, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
You can read more about Visitation online at thetablet.org. There you can also find the latest news around the Diocese of Brooklyn and beyond, and subscribe to future papers so they get sent straight to you. This week's paper is honoring Black History Month by looking at an iconic part of Black Catholic history. In 1987, then Pope John Paul II met with African-American Catholics in New Orleans, stirring the faith of the Louisiana community. The Bishop Emeritus of Brooklyn, Nicholas DiMarzio, is focusing on a Black Catholic saint in his monthly column, Walking with Migrants. Saint Josephine Bakhita is the patron saint of human trafficking survivors. And Bishop DiMarzio speaks about how migrants are especially vulnerable to trafficking. So be sure to grab this week's paper to read more. The Senate's border spending package failed to pass on Wednesday, but that could pave the way for a bishop-backed bill. The original package contained international humanitarian aid and border provisions that the bishops said would cause potentially life-threatening harm. The revised version only contains that humanitarian aid, which the bishops do support. Here to talk more about the two packages is the national correspondent for The Tablet and Crux, John Lavenberg. Hi, John.
Hi, Christine.
So, John, this new package allocates $10 billion in humanitarian aid, which, as we said, the bishops have supported. So break it down for us. Where will all the money go?
Yeah, so $9 billion of that is named in the bill to go to Ukraine and Israel. But because of the agencies they're going to, that money can be used all over the world. So places like Haiti, Sudan, different countries that crisis exists, that money can be used to help people in need however they may need it.
All right, now the other package would have changed immigration law for the first time in decades. And the bishops have often talked about how the laws need to change, but they were against this particular bill. Why is that?
Well, it boils down to what the bishops have said all along, that while there's a right and responsibility of Congress to manage the border, that can't come at the expense of the humanitarian protection that a lot of these migrants need. And a lot of these security provisions in the bill, the bishops felt put migrants at further risk than they already are on their journey to the United States. So for that reason, they asked senators to reject it. But again, they're not saying that there should be no security at the border or anything like that. They just think they need to take into account the migrants, the situations they come from, and the humanitarian needs they have.
All right, absolutely. And before we go, give us an update. What is happening at the border right now?
Well, so the latest border encounter numbers from Customs and Border Protection show that encounters are still at an all-time high. So far in fiscal year 2024, that started in October, we're already at almost 1 million encounters at the border, which is another new record. And so So, at the border, the towns, the agencies, they're strained. And in turn, the places these migrants go around the country, like New York, Chicago, these cities, are also strained. So it's a crisis that just keeps growing. And Congress, as a lot of people have said, including the bishops, do need to act to get this under control.
Absolutely. All right, John Lavenberg, national correspondent for the Tablet Crux. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Christine.
As we mentioned, it's Black History Month, but for many churches across the Diocese of Immigrants, their culture is part of the faith celebrations all year round. Take Holy Family Church in Canarsie, for example. The Brooklyn parish uses music from a popular African-American hymnal. Currents News' Katie Vasquez tells us more.
At Holy Family Church in Canarsie, their Sunday prayers come with a joyful noise.
I couldn't imagine praising God without singing to Him first.
But if their hymns sound different, it's because they are also looking to their cultural roots during their praise. The songs are from a book called Lead Me, Guide Me, which celebrates the faith journey of African American Catholics.
I find that song can really connect us, and the common parishioner can play a part in praising God and in letting the Spirit move within us. That's what their purpose is. This is a light of mine.
The music incorporates different African and Caribbean styles, and even some traditions from Pentecostal and Baptist churches.
It resonates in my soul, and then I found out that they came from other denominations, other traditions, And I never really thought of it as necessarily an African-American kind of thing.
Everett Wilson brought the songs to the Brooklyn church when he joined as the director of music 17 years ago. He hoped it would spark the same joy he felt when he first heard them at 13 years old.
It was kind of amazing to me, And then the music sounding more like gospel-y and not traditional. This was blowing my mind. And I think that's why I fell in love with the book so much.
Each beat connects the congregation with their culture, Christ, and their church.
It's the fact that the congregation sings with me, and I see them swaying because everybody knows that song. It just really elates me that the whole church is praising God together.
The choir looking to the past so they can carry on these traditions to the future. In Canarsie, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
You too can celebrate Black History Month in the Diocese of Brooklyn. Holy Family St. Lawrence Parish will be holding a Black History Month Family Mass. That's on February 18th at 9:30 a.m. at 9721 Flatlands Avenue in Brooklyn. And of course, Ash Wednesday is quickly approaching. Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan will be giving out ashes at a mass at the Cathedral Basilica of St. James in Brooklyn. That'll be on Wednesday, February 14th at noon. If you can't attend in person, you can watch the mass live right here on Net TV. Ash Wednesday preparations were already underway this Thursday at the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph. Just like other churches around the diocese, the Prospect Heights Parish burned palms from last year's Palm Sunday celebration. That fine powder you see there will be mixed with holy water or chrism oil to make a light paste that will be used on Ash Wednesday. The ashes are a symbol of mourning, morality, and penance with roots going back to the Old Testament. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.